Andrea, here's Dennis, and we're going to review your lessons for the week here. We worked on a couple things, but I want to dwell on the most basic of all basics, and that would be keeping you a little more stationary in your takeaway and more use of your wrist in swinging the club, which the two kind of go together. Okay, so we made a little grip change. Your setup is fine. What we have to do from there is get you to stop swaying off the ball as much as you do. So there's a lot of movement with your body because you're moving the club with your body instead of moving the club with your wrist. So as we get to be seniors, we get to be less supple, not more. So what we want to do is make sure that we stay put, so to speak. I like the fact that you're turning, but I would like you to turn in with the weight on the ball, so to speak. Let me give you a model for that, so we can take a look at a player doing what I'm suggesting. Sometimes the visual does help, and we could take a look at Lydia Ko, who's had an interesting career. Unbeatable when she was 17, and at 22 can't win at all. So that's what I mean by staying put, isn't it? Her center of mass is right over the golf ball. She's rotated, but she stayed put. Now, we don't have that kind of flexibility. That's understandable, but whatever it takes, because it's going to be a hit and miss proposition when you sway up and back on the backswing and then dive back down on the through swing. There's the wrist cocked, there's the wrist snapped, and there's the wrist rehinged. So that's the use. There's the 90 degrees, 180 degrees, back to 90 degrees. That's the wrist cock and the proper use of the wrist. And again, I make the analogy of the carpenter with the hammer hitting a nail. He's doing it from his wrist and his forearm on down. If we don't get that club set, it's very hard to be able to use it. As soon as she starts to take it away, she starts to cock the wrist so that she's fully hinged at the top. And that's what you want to do. It does two things, Andrea. It will keep you over the ball, so you're going back with a sway. You're lifting the club in the body to take it away. What she's doing to take it away is she's beginning a rotation of her shoulders, but she's hinging the club. She's hinging the club, boom. Now she's in a position where she stays right there and extends the arm and snaps on the other side. Now, if we can do some level of that, not to that full extent of the motion and the power, but if we can learn from the fact that we need to be steady over the ball and we need to hinge the wrist much earlier in the backswing and in the downswing, really work on power coming from the wrist, snap and unsnap. As you come through, we don't want to have to dive down, because if we dive down, we're not going to have room to extend the arms. Notice that as she comes down, the arms are fully extended. Fully extended. And we want to try to get that down as much as we possibly can. And eventually to follow through. But I think that the one thing at a time here for you, if you could do the drills that I gave you with the feet together as much as possible on days when you don't have the aches and pains, and I can relate to that. I just had back surgery last year. I had neck, cervical, spine treatment the year before that. So it is difficult as we age, but the one thing that we can't do is just lose the posture. We have to stay pretty much where we are. We can't do the up and down part. You're trying to get the club in the air by lifting the body in the air. And if you had, at this point going back, start to hinge the wrist really nice and early. Take the club a little bit more to the inside. It wants to get in behind your hands much sooner, and cocking your wrist. That's going to be really big for you. See, we can't keep that club out there too soon. It's another sign that the wrists aren't hinging and the club's not going in the right direction. Let's watch a model from down line and you'll see what I mean. So when she starts the club back, it goes to the inside. Hinge inside. There's a complete wrist cock already, and it's inside. It's going this way. Excuse me. It's going this way. This is inside, as I was explaining today. Hinge the ball, hinge the club inside. Draw yourself a line behind it so you know which way to go. It's only natural that it would go that way because the right shoulder's turning and you're hinging. Turn and hinge. Stay put with the body. There's a classic example of a great backswing where the wrists are fully cocked early, the spine angle is maintained, and now all she has to do is drop the arms and snap the wrist. So it's outside and late wrist set, and the body's pulling us away a little bit. So you say, well, I can't get it up much higher unless I lift. Well, then I wouldn't go much higher. What I would do is I'd just have a little shorter swing. Of the two, a shorter backswing or a backswing that causes you to stand up, the shorter backswing is by far more in control. And you're not going to lose a lot of distance because you're going to be getting more centered contact on it. Okay, so try to do that as much as you can. As you come down, I want you to stay tall, but snap the wrist. Snap the wrist. You want to try to avoid as much as possible your body having to go back down to hit it, and you're hitting off the toe of the club there because the arms are bent. If we fully extend the arms, we're going to get it right out to the ball. And we could add this rotation last. I think that for this point in your life, to be able to hit the golf ball more consistently would give you more fun. It's the club swinging you and not swinging the club. If you stayed right where you are, and you could have someone put a hand on your hat and keep you there, and you just hinged your wrist and said, boy, that's as far as I can go. I would rather have you do that. And then snap your wrist down. Right there, you're still in your posture. You're still in your posture. That's right there. There you go. That'd be the end of your swing. That's what I'm suggesting for you. Because this is where you start to go up. That last part is where you start to go up. You could even go further than that. Let's watch here. So you're coming back this part. So we've got a circle here around the head. Right there, you're still pretty good, and now you're starting to go up out of it. So if you said, okay, I want to go back here. If you said, okay, that's where I'm going to with a wrist cock, and I'm going to stay in my posture, I would say that's as far as you need to go. You can do it with your wrist and not lifting your body. That would give us more consistency. Then when you're there, you stay there, and you let the club snap down. See how level she stays? No diving down with the body. Again, the body's directing it back and the body's directing it down. If we could get you more in control of the club with the wrist, you could take a lot of body out of the swing. It would not only help your consistency, but it would help a lot of distance. Okay, that's the reason that club's doing what it's doing there is you're hitting it off the toe. I want you to see where your contact is there, and that's that shortened left arm. That's caused mostly by the fact that you're down here and not back where you started. So if you go low, you're going to retract the arms and chicken wing it every time. Okay, those are the main points that we covered this week. I want to say it was a pleasure having you in the program. I hope that you'll take some of these fundamentals away. And it's like anything else, when you can do something a little differently for a week or two, it's going to feel different. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but it will certainly get you to where you want to go and enjoy the sport a little bit more. Okay, thanks. Bye now.